everybody on Passion Radio. Thank you for joining me for the second hour. I'm trusting that you are still okay and that you've recovered from my rant in the first hour. What can I say? I'm passionate, and this is Passion Radio. And as I said, I've come here to serve, and serve I will. But at least I know I'm not on my own. No, in this hour, serving with me is my good dear friend and sister. Nunu Queenie beloved, you there? I can hear you. What I'm going to do is I am going to turn up the microphone, and hopefully, all being well, you will be heard loud and clear by everybody. Everybody. Either way, you'll be heard. Okay. How are you doing?
I'm very, 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 very delicious. Thank you.
Well, if you're delicious, I'm delicious too.
Oh, that's great. We can all be delicioso together, my dear.
Let's be. Absolutely. Now, I don't know if you know, but in the first hour, it was quite heavy. I was talking basically about community, the importance of community, and having mentors within a community. I was talking about the role of parents and how they're not necessarily mentors because they've got everything else that they're doing. I was talking about youths and spirituality and past lives and generational trauma. This life, the traumas that we attract in this life, friends and karma. So I covered a lot in the hour.
You jolly well have, by the sounds of it, yeah.
Yes, but what I also did was I explained that whilst I'm here doing this work, there are also people like yourself who are creating resources that help us along our journey. So, Wagwan, what are you saying? First of all, I want to say, oftentimes we do find ourselves going to people from other cultures who are alternative therapists, but we have them within our community, and you are one such. Who knows us?
Yes, there are, yes.
So,
there are.
Would you like to talk to us about the work that you do and some of the products that you have?
Well, now, the work that I do is, I call it creative healing. Creative healing with freedom and flow. And the work that I do is about helping you to imbibe within yourself pleasure, peace, joy, inner standing, full joyfulness of oneself, lovefulness of oneself, creating balance within oneself, no matter what the crisis is, as the old man said, or no matter what the uncrisis is. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you find that pleasurable, joyful, happy, loving soul within yourself. And if you can't find it, to help you dig it out. Okay. Sometimes you have to dig real hard, innit?
Yes, under all those hard layers.
Yes. Crusty. Sometimes the layers are tough like diamond.
Yeah.
And but even diamonds can be broken, my dear.
Right.
Even a diamond can be broken. So, and sometimes the diamond that we are becomes somewhat broken.
Yeah.
And some of the shards of that brokenness get left behind, stuck in us. Not in a very good way, in a painful way, in a way that causes suffering and unpeace and unjoy and unhappiness, unlovefulness, So, go ahead.
I was going to say, is that perhaps the reason why so many of us are in turmoil, are experiencing a private, secret, quiet pain within?
Um, yeah, that's an analogous way of putting it. Yes, yeah, it's a good way to describe it, I suppose, is the broken diamond. You know, because we are all absolutely precious, and sometimes that preciousness, we're never, when we don't have that mirror held up to us so that we can see, you know, our own personal glory, our radiance, our beauty, our clarity, our shininess, our roughness. Because the roughness still shines, you know.
Yeah.
Roughness still shines in a diamond.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sometimes often, yeah, we lose our way. We forget that we have that luster. We forget that we are that luster, that we are that radiance, that we are that shine, that we are that glory. And it seems to me that these days not a lot of people are able to show each other that in direct, positive terms. Sometimes the message comes in an unway to show us our beauty. It's there to hold our hand and guide us down the pathway so that we can discover that again for ourselves. It all sounds very, very surreal and unreal, but it's true, you know. Every cloud does have a silver lining. And sometimes the silver lining is not what you think it should be.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes the silver lining is another thing.
Another cloud.
Another cloud with another silver lining. Yeah, so on and so forth. You know, layers of cloud with silver lining, though.
Yeah.
You know, we get the glimmers. We get the glimmers of the silver lining, and you know, we remember.
Yeah.
So, you know, the work that I do with the movement, with the sound, music, with the multisensorial approach that I take, I like to think that the journey is pleasurable and even exciting for us. I like to try and make that happen. I like to try and, no, I can't make it happen, but you know, I like to try and teach you, I like to show you how pleasurable you are and how exciting you are. And the tools that I use are designed to do that in a pleasurable and exciting way. So
okay.
And I like to think that we don't have to spend 35 years in therapy at £75 a week, current sterling currency. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there are other ways. There are quicker ways that are more useful, that are more satisfactory, more productive, that enable us to step forward within our beauty. There are other ways of doing that. I don't personally feel, this is just me personally, I don't personally feel that is necessary. Just as I don't personally feel that it's necessary to, oh, excuse me, there is a digger. Can you believe it? There is a digger. Something crazy always happens on this show. Yes. There is a digger digging just outside my garden. Can you hear it?
I can hear it, yeah. That's often the case. So just so that our listeners know.
I'm just going to continue talking though.
Okay.
So the tools that I create or that I am inspired to create are mostly of that ilk. When I was a deaf care practitioner, which I am glad to say I have relinquished the duty of that because it's a different time in my life now. But even within the deaf care practice, I brought joy and pleasure to it as much as I could.
Yes.
As you're well aware.
Yes.
You know, I think, you know, not just as a community of Goldens, but just generally in the world, you know, if we can dance our way through funerary rites and bring joy from ourselves to the rituals of death transition and onwards, burials, etc., celebrations of life, if they can truly be celebrations of life, then that is a wonderful thing. It's a healing thing. It's a transformative thing.
Yep.
It's productive. It's enabling. That's me.
Okay.
That's me.
Fantastic. I have heard what you have said, and I am thinking that, you know, as well as being, you know, working with sound and the senses, because it's all of our senses. We are sense-based people, you know. When we're not cold and unfeeling, we feel everything through every sense, don't we?
Yeah.
Would you be able to tell us about your plant medicine, please?
Yes. Sweet release. Sweet release. Of course. So my plant medicine is it's something I've worked with. I've worked with plant medicine in its many forms. You know, I trained in aromatherapy and aromatic medicine over a couple of decades ago, and I've always worked using plants, using aromatics inside. I've always tried to find ways to get the volatile energy of plants inside of my clients, so that they can travel through the different parts of the body, the different channels available, through the veins, through the nervous system, the central nervous system, through the mouth, through the nose, you know, through the mucous membrane, should I say, through the mouth, through the rectum, and through the vagina, which are actually the most direct ways to get volatile plant oils into one's body, is through that way, you know, down the spine, you know, drenching the spine with excipients, you know, substances that drag the oil, that allow the oil to travel in real quick, and drenching the spine with aromatic oils to get to the thing, the root of the thing, which is often in the central nervous system, because the central nervous system, i.e. the brain, is the seat of our spirit, our soul, should I say. So I've always worked in that way. I've always worked at getting to the bottom of it, and I generally tend to do that fairly quickly. I like people to get on with their lives. I don't want my clients to be coming to me for 6 months and 6 years.
Yeah.
I want them to engage with the process, because I'm not healing you, you're healing you, and the tools that I use are there to assist us both, to help you get to where you need to be, or where you want to be, where you desire to be, and beyond, sometimes beyond that desired places. So that's what I do with the plants. I use herbs as well. I use the whole herb as well, you know, to create different products. I've made over the last 30 years now, I've made toiletries, natural perfumery, you know, therapeutic natural perfumery. I make soaps. People have always loved my soaps. I make bespoke skincare. Once upon a time, in the early days, I had a range called Sassafras, and the favourite product in that Sassafras range was a man's beauty cream called Beefcake Balm.
Beefcake Balm.
Okay. Hey, you laugh. But hey, I used to be making that stuff up and going to deliver it to people's houses.
Wow.
The men loved it.
Wow.
And and the way that I created it, it's the synergy between, the products that I the ingredients that I put together, and the melanin and the spices and so forth within our men, because it was directed to golden men. So, the smells that used to emanate from those men.
Right.
And my husband was my guinea pig.
Right.
And he looked absolutely delicious. He's 5 years older than me. People always thought he was, a bit of a Peter Pan.
Right.
They always thought I was a cradle snatcher. Because he always looked amazing, So, and the thing about the beauty care, the skin care, the natural perfumery, it's not just about making you look great on the outside. It's actually about feeding your soul, feeding your mind, feeding your organs, getting to the stuff, detoxing the stuff, and taking its place with other deliciousness. So,
okay.
Yeah. And in the years that I had Barnyard, which I started in 2010, I was working very much with the snuff blends, herbal snuff blends that I was given through, my family tradition, through my family's tradition. Because both sides I have Barmers on both sides. Both of my grandmothers were, but the grandmother that I met gave me interesting products to work with, and the Creator has sent me other people also to teach me from different parts of Ethiopia, Al-Kabilan, different unusual to us, indigenous plants and herbs that I've been able to incorporate into these crazy blends of snuff for various different things. I'm trying to think of some names because I don't so much carry the range anymore, but I had a blend called Duppy Conqueror.
Aha, yes.
Which was great for, if you snorted that, it would fill up your central nervous system with fire, so that you could tackle the fearfulness, bullying,
okay,
the dark stuff that comes to taunt us in life.
Right.
And it was also a great respiratory and immune system builder. So that was one that I had, Duppy Conqueror. I built a Zola. I did build a Zola blend, which is still fermenting. It's been fermenting pretty much since 2015. I wrote the book.
Okay.
I have huge vats of this stuff, and it sits and does its thing. And every time I open these jars to decant some for somebody, it's just more and more incredible.
Wow, it gets potent with time.
Yes, it does, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I call those my vintage snuffs. I've got snuffs that are older than that, from 2010. Some experimental ones from way before 2010, before Barnyard, because I had this information, you see, from my grandmother.
Yeah.
I have some, so there's the Zola, which it just makes you feel like pure love, quite frankly.
Okay.
And that's the idea behind it. I have another one called Fur Coat No Knickers.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Which is, you open that jar, you smell it, you just smell it just smells like sweet sex.
Okay.
Yeah. There are a lot of lovely flowers and so forth in that. It's very sweet, very pungent. It's very sexy.
Okay. And then
and
you've got another one that we're not going to go into detail about
Mm.
today, but it's actually called Bang You Better. Where do you get these names from?
that's not. Well, silver bullet, girl. Bang, you're better.
That's yes.
It's that simple.
And that one clears a lot of junk, a lot of metal, doesn't it? That's
It clears a lot of everything.
Yes.
But yes, metals, pointy things,
Yeah.
things that got in that shouldn't have,
Yeah.
things that got in by accident, things that got in deliberately,
Yep.
things that we gave permission for,
Yep.
that we agreed to in full knowledge, and things that we agreed to not in full knowledge.
Okay.
But it's also great. It's great for chucking out other, stuff from childhood, stuff that gets put into us at childhood.
Okay.
It's great for all of those things. The medications that we've taken, it purges them out of the body.
Okay.
Synthetic medications, toxins. Yeah.
So when you say like synthetic medications, that would be like inoculations and stuff like that. Anything that kind of goes against our system.
That goes against life.
Goes against life. Right. Yeah. Okay. I think, all being well, that those listening will understand what's being said there. Okay. Would you be able to tell me about the one that I personally got to see at work yesterday?
Sweet release.
Okay. Can I just jump in?
You may.
All right. So I have been working with somebody for well over a year now, probably about a year and a half. I've been working with a young lady, and I took her yesterday to meet Queenie for the first time, because even though we are doing talking therapy together regularly and clearing a lot, working on spiritual levels, social levels, emotional, psychological and physical, I can't do everything myself. I'm not a one-job fix-all, whatever the expression is. There are times when you need to call on other therapists who do other things. And so yesterday I took my client to meet Queenie. Queenie, then, what did you do? What did you do with my client?
I gave your client a sachet of sweet release snuff. I invited her to simply squeeze the sachet open, hold it open, and just smell the powder that was in the sachet. And I thought that she would, probably sit there and inhale for maybe 5-10 seconds, and then exhale and leave it at that.
Go about her business. Yeah.
Go about her business. She did not. She sat there with this bag under her nose for about 5 minutes, silently, inhaling slowly. No prompting from me at all. I just said, smell.
Yep.
Open it and smell. And she lost herself, literally lost herself in this sachet that she was smelling from, that she was inhaling from. And she engaged in a physical change.
Yep.
Physical change before my eyes. She started to quiver and shiver and shake and shudder, and she was smiling. We were all sitting. She wasn't lying down. We were sitting up in a public place actually while this was going on, folks.
Yep. In a very public place.
In a very public place. And high up on the platform where, we were up in the gods in this public place where we could be seen, not only because we were 3 golden girls, but because of the position that we were sat in.
Yep.
And she proceeded to release something inside of herself. And she was very comfortable. I had never met this woman before.
Mm.
She had no clue what was going to happen at all. She didn't know that I was bringing this sachet along. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually brought along a bottle to give to you, Laura, and I thought, I'll just put a little pinch in a sachet for this lovely lady. And she basically sat there and processed. We were there for about 2 hours, were we? Was it about 2 hours?
I don't know. It felt like forever, but it wasn't long enough.
It wasn't long enough. But during the whole time that we were talking, this process continued.
Yes.
And she's been going through a lot of releasing, a lot of experiencing physical suffering.
Yes.
Because of the trauma, the somatic trauma. So many of us experience deep, deep trauma in the womb. And it continues once we enter this place called planet Earth. And we, because of the imprints on our frequency, we continue to draw and magnetize these same happenings in our lives, and unhappenings in our lives, until something changes it. And this lady has been going through a process like that. As far as I'm aware, that's what she's been going through for some time now, years.
Yeah.
But yesterday she released. I mean, it looks like a substantial amount to me, but I don't know how much she's carrying because I've only just met her.
Yeah.
But one of the points that I will make about this particular woman is that she is absolutely beautiful. She is beautiful. You look into her face and you're looking into the eyes of beauty.
Yes.
And nobody could look in that woman's face and say anything otherwise. Nobody.
Yeah. I often just want to pinch her cheeks. I mean, I don't. But I would love to just be able to just pinch her cheeks and just... Oh.
Yeah, that would be entirely inappropriate for a professional therapist.
Completely.
However, she is completely blind to this.
Oblivious, completely.
She is completely blind to the beauty that radiates out of her being, out of her persona, because she is so traumatized. And she physically released, and she spoke about what was happening to her body, the sensations that she was having. And it was a very, very sweet and gentle purge that she was having. And she was so serene and peaceful.
Yeah.
So that's what happened yesterday when I first arrived to meet you.
Yes.
In that public place.
Yes. And as an onlooker, it was beautiful to see. It was lovely to see you working with her. It was lovely to see how you worked with her, because as well as giving her the sweet release snuff, you were talking to her through this as well, about her experiences. So you were working on so many different levels yesterday, and it's what we need. This is the work that we do, is what is necessary for us to fix our psychological broken leg, our spiritually broken leg, or broken spine, or broken arm. The way that we work. And it's not even like an ego thing now, because it's like, you know what, I've gone past the
it's
point.
Really not an ego thing.
No, it's like people just have to know this is actually what I do. you know.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not we're not bigging ourselves up, we're not coming across as like, you know, oh, we're so great and wonderful. It's the work, and the work is not great and wonderful, it's not pretty. You know, there's nothing to envy, but we're not doing anything that others can't do, you know, in time, once they are connected back to their spiritual essence. And we're still connecting, you know, on different levels every day. We're growing. We all grow, you know. But I know that you have an event. We have an event that we have been working on in the background. A retreat that will allow people to come to a location where they can experience this healing that we provide, which is quite unique, on all of the levels that we have spoken of, including receiving your snuffs, elixirs, toddies. Can I call them toddies?
Yeah, you can call them toddies, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And plants. And you know, my eyes did kind of bulge when you were saying about the different ways that they can be administered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be administering. I think it would be for the people to administer themselves.
Well, those particular remedies won't be administered in that way.
No.
They
Okay.
won't be administered. There's no, you know,
Yeah.
nothing up the front and nothing up the back, shall we say. There's none of that going on there, chap.
You are
Not on
so
that retreat.
decadent. So, okay, for this retreat, talk about this retreat to me, for our listeners, from your perspective. What would you be offering? What can they expect?
Okay. Well, as I said, sweet release, you know, is a plant medicine, and this sweet release program that we've created, we have been working so much on bloodline trauma,
Yeah.
and the release of bloodline trauma. We started out, didn't we, talking about ancestral healing back in the day, and really this is what it is. It's bloodline trauma that we're healing. So this plant medicine program we've created to assist you, the retreatee, in relieving yourself of ongoing experiences, times, happenings of deep trauma and painful situations that come from, you know, they're inside of you. And they're also outside of you, you know, some of it is external as well. And we do this facilitating of moving on from deep trauma by enabling you to break bonds, we call it fettering, of bloodline trauma within yourself. And that means that just like you may be genetically predisposed to sickle cell anemia, which is a bloodline trauma, incidentally.
Oh.
It's an expression of bloodline trauma.
Okay. How interesting.
When you talk about it being in your DNA, what you're really talking about is you're carrying the memory of things that happened for your antecedents, your forebears, your ancestors, the people that came before you. You're carrying their blood in your body. You're carrying their cellular memory. Their cells are in your body. And some of the distortions and toxicity and blockage and even how we speak, our speech patterns, our body language, the thoughts that we have, the way we approach our thinking, the way we rationalize things, the way we sense things, experience things, they are all with you from your antecedents on a cellular memory level. Some people will say it is spirit, because that's their language. some people will say it is congenital pathology.
Can you say that again?
Congenital pathology. You're just born with it.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Pathology.
So, yeah. I mean, when you look at, let me give you an example. When you look at, because we're moving through this stuff all the time, yeah? So when you look at a little toddler or an infant who's just a few days old, if you stare into the face of an infant and you know that infant's family, or you're a member of that infant's family who knows that infant's family, you will see many different ancestors' faces come through. You look at a baby and say, I saw she come in like Uncle Eddie. Look, and then when you turn back again 2 seconds later, Uncle Eddie's gone. No, she looked like Aunt Lillian. Look, Aunt Lillian. Look, come, look. And when you look back again, she's gone. Aunt Lillian is gone.
Yeah.
And you just see all these different faces all the time, all the facial expressions producing. My magpie is back at the window again. Producing all these different people from their bloodline.
Yeah.
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 Now, you can rationalize that however you want, dear listener, but you cannot deny that this is a phenomenon that happens with pretty much every baby. Yeah.
We witness it. We see it. We can't deny it, can we? We see it.
You cannot deny that happens, and it happens every day. Happens every day with that infant.
Mm.
Yeah? So that's on a very physical, external way. These are signposts that we're being given, that we need to look out for certain things that are going to come up, that are going to come through. So if that's a very physical presentation, imagine what's going on in your blood, in your lymph, in your endocrine system, in your urine, in your intestines, in your lungs, in your fingernails, in your kneecaps,
in your breast milk,
yeah, in your movements, in the way that some of us are born with 6 digits instead of 5.
Yeah. Or that hole in the ear.
Or the hole in the ear, or the pointy ear, the gin ears. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're too bad, Miss Laura, you're too bad.
I'm just part of the community. I'm just part of it.
So, so I don't know if there are any listeners out there that have heard about family constellation therapy.
Oh gosh, I spoke about it last week on last week's show, and I was quite disparaging.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's merely an extension of this. It's just a left-brained, esthenized aspect of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's no different to what we do. It's no different to the ancestral healing rituals that we do amongst our golden communities. Yeah? It's just they don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not really. So it works for a little while and then it doesn't work anymore because they don't really know how far they can go with it. They don't understand how deep they need to go with it. And don't ask me who they is because you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. They know who they is. But I take
I'm talking to them, not you. You know.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Yeah, it's not meant to be disparaging. It simply is what it is. Yeah, it's culture. It's carbonatedness, black diamondness. It's sun eatingness, sun gazingness, which is within us. Because we're sun people, we're golden people. Yeah? And we do things, we operate out of predominantly, our predominant strength within our brains, our central nervous systems, is right-brained. Some of us are great. We've got it on both sides. Yay! That's called being a genius.
Yeah.
And there are lots of those.
Yeah.
But it remains that the family constellation stuff is an aspect of this. And one of the great things about this work is that we can work in families.
Yes.
We can work within family circles. Even if you're even if you're a member of a family, but you're not a member of that family by bloodline, you know, even if you're adopted,
and estranged.
You can still do this.
Yeah. And estranged too.
And estranged too. You can do all of it. If you want to do it, if there's a group of people that want this to be done because they want to quote unquote fix. I did say quote unquote. You know, if you want to heal the breakages, mend the breakages in that particular circle, it can be done.
Yeah. And
it's beautiful work.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Beautiful work.
It is beautiful. Unlike the constellations, this is affordable as well as beautiful. And we are working with our spirit. We're not being told how to manifest our spirit. Our spirit is manifesting. And we offer that to you, for you to allow your spirit to manifest, so that you might find fulfillment in your life in this lifetime, clearing up the debris that has attracted itself to you for clearing in this lifetime. So we will be speaking about this retreat more in the shows leading up to the date. We will also be giving more information about it. I was going to say something, my mind's gone completely blank. Giving more information about the retreat and talking about different aspects of it that you can look forward to experiencing. That's what I was going to say. But this retreat is an in-person job. It's not an online thing. This is a coming together. For that time, during that retreat, it is an overnight stay. You will be present to do the work.
There will be 2 overnight stay.
2 nights. Over 2 nights. We will become a community. And we will shift the debris. Yeah? But we can only do that with your willing selves.
Yeah. It's not a spectator sport, folks.
No.
And you will experience a sweet release of all manner of physical, mental, emotional, epigenic episodes, and step out into a remarkable, positive and new lease of life. You'll be unfettered by your former addiction to life's victimhood, suffering, entanglements.
Rewind, can you say that again?
Suppositions and rationalizations, for God's sake. We've got so many awful rationalizations.
Yeah.
You'll come away from there, you'll be emptied. Slowly and gently and beautifully and graciously emptied of the unnecessary toxics, and you'll be able to make such positive and profound changes. And you'll be able to do it because with all that suffering that you've released, sweetie, you will be so peaceful inside. Yeah, and this is not BS. This is the real deal talking now. Yeah. This is the real deal. You can create new life. new terms for how you live your life your way. You don't have to follow fashion no more. I.e., you don't need to conform to what is incredibly uncomfortable for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to do that anymore. Yeah?
You know, yesterday, sorry to interrupt, but you said something yesterday that really was like you dropped the mic. It was like bang. And it really kind of sobered things up for me, given the place that we were in. You said you said that we keep on trying to fix right-brained problems in left-brain ways.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know how powerful that is?
This is not one of those instances.
We are fixing right brain issues with right brain tools.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing. The work is amazing.
And I'm going to say this as well, you know, because we spoke about this in the Cleopatra talk,
Yeah.
didn't we? Which is on YouTube and on TikTok, I think.
Yeah.
We spoke about suicide.
Yeah.
And feeling suicidal, and should we assist people? You know, we had a big kind of, you know, mental wandering about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
And you know, that is trauma. That a lot of the time, that suicidal feeling that we have is bloodline trauma.
Yeah.
It's not us that feels like that. It's somebody else's feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. The empath in our bloodstream is saying, "Oh, that's mine. I feel like, oh God, I need to jump off whatever.
Yeah.
Or I need to do whatever." It's not ours. Oftentimes it's somebody else's from way back when.
Yeah.
But the memory of it is still there, and it's deep and it's powerful, because we are powerful. Human beings are powerful. What we can do with the mind is nobody's business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to put that out there as well. You know, if you are suffering that level of despair, then yeah, that might be the place to be.
Okay. All right. So we're coming up to the top of the hour. So just to reiterate, we are going to be holding a spiritual retreat. The month will be November. The fee will be £550. The deposit is £75. The location is chosen. The number of people that we can have is limited. The work is serious. The time is now, and we are ready. Sister Nunu, Queenie, beloved, if anybody wants to call you, can we get a number from you, please, in the last minute?
Yeah, sure. You can call me on 07784 672 053.
Perfect.
And you can email me at soulfulhq, SOULFULHQ. But the telephone number again, 07784 672 053. And also, obviously, you can speak to Laura as well.
Yep, perfect. Well, I gave my name in my number in my first hour. Okay, we're going to have to end now. Thank you so much for speaking with us this week, Nunu.
You.
And
Thank you so much.
We look forward to listening to you and speaking with you again. I'm going to play us out with a song that you hadn't heard in a long time that I played the other day.